I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Ha, Rekah, Quadash, double honors unto our apostle elders, which rule great millstone well, and shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. May you endure unto the end. Shalom, wa ba. So, in Jeremiah 19, there's a prophecy which is still to be fulfilled. All right, and it's the judgment of the land known of the valley of slaughter, the valley of Jehoshaphat, Yahweh's Mashaphat. All right, the judgment that's going to take place in the holy land of Israel. All right, which is going to be by fire. It says in Jeremiah 19, verse 1, thus saith the supreme power Yahweh, go and get a potter's earthen bottle, and take of the ancients of the people, the elders of the people of Israel, and of the ancients, the elders of the priests, and go forth unto the valley of the son of Hinnom, which is by the entry of the east gate, and proclaim there the words that I shall tell thee. And say, hear ye the word of Yahweh, O kings of Judah and inhabitants of Jerusalem. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the power of Israel, behold, I will bring evil upon this place, which whosoever heareth his ears shall tingle. Verse 4, because they have forsaken me and have estranged this place, and have burnt incense in it unto other gods, which Jacob the Israelite, the iniquity of Israel is the idolatry of other gods, whom neither they nor their fathers have known, right? So this is talking about here in America, all right, because they're serving gods that the forefathers have never known. It says, nor the kings of Judah, and have filled this place with the blood of innocents. They have built also the high places of Baal, to burn their sons with fire for burnt offerings unto Baal, which I commanded not, nor spake it, neither came it into my mind. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that this place shall no more be called Tophet, nor the valley of the son of Hinnom, but the valley of slaughter, which I pulled it up on a map so you can see it. And you can see it's in the valley of Jehoshaphat, the place where a great judgment is going to take. All right, Yahweh is going to send his son Yahweh Shai back, and he's going to burn all this up with a so-called UFO. All right, because they're going to have all these troops gathered in that land, fighting each other for power over the land of Israel and over the Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, which been scattered throughout the world as slavery. But the main judgment is here in America, because this is where the prophets are. 2nd Ezra 13, verse So when Yahushua comes back, he's coming from heaven, and he's going to come from the east to the west. So he's going to come down, as they in Genesis, Jacob's ladder. He's going to come down in that land, which is known as Jerusalem, and he's going to judge the armies of Esau. And at the same time, Esau's kingdom is going to be destroyed, America, Babylon the Great, by nuclear missiles. World War III ends by America being destroyed by nuclear missiles. And Yahushua is coming back to save his elect. All right. So in an instant, which it's going to start here in America, it says he comes from Edom after he slaughters them, and he gathers his elect from the four corners of the earth. All right. Which he's going to send angels out fast. Right. You see how fast they are. You've heard the reports. You know, they're in an instant they could teleport, boom, fast. They're ahead of time. They're making sure everything plays out as Yahweh and Yahushua commanded. All right. It says, but only I saw that he's. Forgive me. It says. Let me go up to 8. Verse 8. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him, to fight against Yahushua, were sore afraid, and yet durst fight, which he's going to put the spirit in them to fight. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude, these militaries of the world which belonged to Esau that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war, which Yahushua, when he's on top of the chariot, right, that throne was created for judgment. All right. It says, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests, which is a great storm. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest. The great tempest is going to be here in America. The nuclear destruction is going to be like a great wind that wipes America off the face of the earth in the heat and fire, which is going to turn the world into an oven, you know, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, all these troops that Esau gathers, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude, talking about people, nothing was to be perceived but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. See, and he saw this place being burnt up by Yahushua, right? And the host of heaven, which comes with him, which the Lord's going to put out an order, and fire is going to come down like in the movie Independence Day or War of the Worlds, where so-called UFOs are shooting fire down, right? And it's just going to burn everything up, all right? At the same time, nuclear destruction of America, which is going to cause everything to be burnt up over here, all right? It says in verse 7, and I will make void the counsel of Judah and Jerusalem in this place, and I will cause them to fall by the sword before their enemies. Jeremiah 19, and I'm in the middle of 7. And by the hands of them that seek their lives, and their carcasses will I give to be meat for the fowls of the heaven, and for the beasts of the earth, which we've been scattered. And I will make this city desolate and an hissing. Every one that passeth thereby shall be astonished and hiss because of all the plagues thereof. And I will cause them to eat the flesh of their sons and the flesh of their daughters, and they shall eat every one the flesh of his friend in the siege and straitness, which this happened in Jerusalem at this time. You can read about it in Lamentations 4, all right? And it happened in 70 AD when the Roman Edomite Titus led the Roman army against Israel and sieged it. And also now, in this last last generation of Esau's wicked society, there's going to be cannibalism amongst Jake because there ain't going to be no food. All right, because America is going to go into a war. It's going to become a war zone, and the stores are going to be destroyed and emptied. All right, so they're going to eat their children, the wicked of the nation of Israel. All right, because the ultimate wicked, the Edomite, the so-called white man, all right, he's coming down with great wrath, knowing that he has but a short time. All right, so he's moving, well, as he said, in warp speed to bring great tribulation upon the Israelites. And it's going to lead to the destruction of the Edomites, just like it happened with the Babylonians, just like it happened with the Egyptians, just like it happened with these other nations, kingdoms. All right, the Medes and the Persians, and the Edomites seen it in their past, the Greeks and the Romans. All right, but they're going to try to siege the Israelites even though they be in straits. Jeremiah 19:10, then shalt thou break the bottle in the sight of the men that go with thee, which were the elders of Israel, and shall say unto them, thus saith Yahweh of hosts, even so will I break this people and this city as one breaketh a potter's vessel that cannot be made whole again, and they shall bury them in Tophet till there be no place to bury. Thus will I do unto this place, saith Yahweh, and to the inhabitants thereof, and even make this city as Tophet, which is the valley of slaughter, and the house of Jerusalem, right? So he's talking about destroying also America, because this place he's going to make even, all right, make this city as Tophet, a valley of slaughter. And the houses of Jerusalem and the houses of the kings of Judah shall be defiled as the place of Tophet, because of all the houses upon whose roofs they have burned incense unto all the hosts of heaven, and have poured out drink offerings unto other gods, which they done over there and they're doing over here, right? Shit, some Jake worship Donald Trump, right? Didn't you have Negroes for Trump, Latinos for Trump, right? I'm sure you had it amongst all the 12 tribes. The Cubans for Trump. It says, then came Jeremiah from Tophet, whether Yahweh had sent him to prophesy, and he stood in the court of Yahweh's house and said to all the people, thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the power of Israel, behold, I will I will bring upon this city and upon all her towns all the evil that I have pronounced against it, because they have hearkened their necks that they might not hear my words, right? So this is what's going to happen now in America as well, because of the judgment that the Lord pronounced, because Israel had not hearkened unto the prophets, right? He sent the prophets, starting with the apostleship, to lead Israel, right, out of the way of Babylon, out of the way of the heathen, right? Which we're in the city of confusion. This is why it's called Babylon the Great, aka America, a bitter place, right? And the Lord's going to destroy it. Let me cross-reference that. See Psalm 58. Let's see. See, so it goes with Psalm 58, and it says prayer for the punishment of the wicked, and it's just going with correlating scripture pertaining to the English. All right, but if you were to go even into these Hebrew words, right, you would actually understand that the Lord prophesied of the judgment of America in the Old Testament to his prophets. All right, because the judgment, with this judgment that we're about to witness, America being turned into a lake of fire, was created for the devil and his angels, which is the so-called white man, the devil, and his military. The 2/3, they're going to be involved because they reject salvation here in America, which it comes to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And he sent his prophets as heralds to show you the way. That's why we're the light of the world, as it says in Matthew 5. And we're to let our light so shine before men, Israelite men throughout the world. That's why we have the internet, so that they may hear these words and repent. It says in Psalm 58 and 1, it says, to the chief musician, Alta Shineth, Alta Sheath, Mactam of David. All right. Do ye indeed speak? Do ye indeed speak righteousness, O congregation? Do ye judge uprightly, O ye sons of men? Yea, in heart ye work wickedness, ye wait the violence of your hands in the earth. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. The wicked are who are ruling today. All right. And they have the Israelites enslaved. All right. Which the wicked are the so-called white race, and the Israelites are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. And this is why you have these Israelites worshiping idols in America. Like, once again, like Donald Trump, or the false religion Christianity, or the false religion of the Roman Catholic Church, which Christianity came out of, or the false religion of Islam, which came out of the Roman Catholic Church as well, or the false religion of patriotism, or the false religion of these institutions of the so-called white man. And the so-called white man goes estranged from birth, speaking lies. It says in verse 4, their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the deaf adder. See, they listen not to what is right, that stoppeth her ear. In fact, it's in her heart to destroy the prophets. That's why America, the whore, is prophesied to be destroyed by fire, which will not hearken to the voice of charmers, charming never so wisely. Break their teeth, O power, which it says God here. Let me show you who it's speaking of. It's talking about the elect. Elohim, O power, Elohim. So Yahweh operates through men, all right? And these men are elected, selected out of the nation of Israel to have the power to prophesy now. And it's given a number of 144,000, which we know, according to prophecy, some are in the spiritual realm. All right. It says, in their mouth, it says, break their teeth, O Elohim, in their mouth. Break out the great teeth of the young lions, O Yahweh. Let them mount, which is that nuclear destruction, away as waters which run continually when he bendeth his bow, which is going to be nuclear missiles, to shoot his arrows. Let them be as cut in pieces, as a snail which melteth. Let every one of them pass away like the untimely birth of a woman, that they may not see the sun. Before your pots can fill the thorns, he shall take away, he shall take them away as with a whirlwind, both living in his wrath. Let's go to the NLT. It says, our power will sweep them away, both young and old, faster than a pot heats over burning thorns. Right? So the Lord's it's gonna be so fast, it's gonna be like as it says, in one day, in 1 hour. All right. He's gonna destroy the wicked and their kingdom, including the counterfeits that are in our land today, because that's a prophecy that is the valley of slaughter. It says, verse 10, the righteous shall rejoice when he seeth the vengeance. He shall wash his feet in the blood of the wicked. We're going to celebrate it's going to be a celebration that this day took place, right? The destruction of the wicked's kingdom, the counterfeits in our land, and us being saved so that we could go back to our land and live righteously in the authority of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. It says, so that a man shall say, verily there is a reward for the righteous, because the righteous are going to receive salvation. The wicked and them that do wickedly are going to get destroyed. All right, they're going to get the judgment they deserve. Now salvation is only for the Israelites, and the Israelites have been scattered all over the world and allowed to take on the heathens' women, so our children look like the other nations, and this has happened for many generations. So not every Israelite's going to look like a so-called Negro, Latino, or Native American Indian, all right? But they're going to have faith, and they're going to remain faithful unto the end in their lot of a male or female Israelite, all right? Verily, there is a reward for the righteous. Verily, he is a power that judgeth in the earth. And he raised up what? The elect to judge Edom. It says in Obadiah 1, it's one chapter, but verse 21, and saviors shall come up on Mount Zion to judge the Mount of Esau. So the elect that the Lord raises up, that once were Elohim, right? They are going to judge Esau. And that's what's happening right now. We bring out these videos condemning the wicked. Edom, the so-called white man, the descendants of Esau. And the kingdom shall be Yahweh's, which are Israelites. And it tells you in Isaiah 58. And that's why you see them moving with aggression towards the Israelite. All right, because they're hearing these words, and it's a sure word of prophecy. Right? So it says, verse 16, Isaiah 54 and 16, behold, I have created the smith, the Edomite, that bloweth the coals in the fire, which they were the blacksmiths, that they were blessed with the sword. This is how they took the earth. And this is why they have a great sword, the nuclear missiles. And that bringeth forth an instrument for his work, which the Lord gave him that intelligence to bring forth this instrument for his work, which the work of the devil is to destroy. And I have created the waster to destroy. So he created the so-called white man so that he could create the nuclear missile and destroy his own kingdom. Verse 17, no weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, talking to the elect of Israel. And every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of Yahweh, and their righteousness is of me, saith Yahweh. So I'm going to go to 2 Ezra 16. It says in verse 1, woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Asia is not a country, it's a continent. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. Egypt and Syria is Israel's between there. That little piece of land I showed you. But the judgment is going to be great. But this land right here, this is a little bit of that place where that judgment will take place. But this land right here from as I said, from Egypt to Syria, This place is going to be judged in fire. And all the troops that are gathered here, they're going to be mounted here. All right? That's why it says, woe, destruction be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. It's not just going to be right there in that little spot. It's going to be a mass destruction. All right? From Egypt to Syria, from Turkey to Yemen. All right? Because when you look at the terrain map, like this is a terrain map, you can look and see where the valley is, and the valley goes pretty much all the way down unto Yemen. See right here, that valley goes all the way down unto this area. And that's where it's going to be. They're going to be fighting there. They're going to come over from the east and cross the Euphrates into this land over here, and they're going to be fighting. See? All the way up into that land of Israel, which is right there. Israel's right there, and they're going to be all through this land right here. And the Lord's just going to mount them, the chariots, the host of heaven. See right there? See how the valley goes all the way down? See? Right there, that's where that valley is. You see the 1, the 4, and the 6. It's in that valley that goes up into the valley of slaughter. The valley of slaughter. It's going to be a great judgment. All right. Now going back to that judgment that's going to take place in that land, the Lord says to these heathen, verse 2, gird up yourselves with cloths of sack and hair, bewail your children and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand. A sword is sent upon you, and who may turn it back? A fire is sent among you, and who may quench it? Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? May any man drive away an hungry lion in the wood? Or may any one quench the fire in stubble when it had begun to burn? No, right? It takes over. It's a consuming fire. So that's what's happening right now with these prophecies. All right, they're consuming these heathen, but it's going to literally become fire that the Lord brings with judgment. We're telling you the judgment, and it's already hot for you. Global warming, you know what I'm saying? Read between the lines. Obadiah. Let me see, Obadiah. Verse 15. For the day of Yahweh is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee, which they've enslaved us and abused us. And we are the sons of the Almighty Yahweh, and we've been redeemed through Yahweh Shai. It says, thy reward shall return upon thine own head. As ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yea, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. And that's why we're going to be able to go back to that land, because it's going to be like they were never there. He's going to burn them up. America is going to be a desert, but it'll never come back. It'll be a memorial of the righteous judgment of the Lord against the wicked. It says, verse 17, but upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions, which we're going to have them as slaves in the land of the Lord. It says in Isaiah 14:1, for Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel. And that's evident, and that's having this ability to prophesy. and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. The Israelites that believe in Yahweh by Shem Yahushai are going to hear the word of Yahweh through the mouths of the prophets, which are Israelites, and the Spirit, the Holy Spirit, which is upon these words of Yahweh, speak of Yahushai. And they're going to believe in Yahushai returning and prepare to meet him, and they're going to be joined with us in salvation, which they're Israelites. Verse 2, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of Yahweh for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. So we're going to have the heathen as our slaves, for we've been slaves to all these heathen. And it shall come to pass in the day that Yahweh shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear, and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve here in Babylon, also known spiritually as Egypt, America, that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon. So this tells you that this is talking about a different Babylon. And Babylon, which was ruled, the ancient Babylon, which was ruled by Nebuchadnezzar, the Assyrian king. At that time, the southern kingdom he enslaved. The northern kingdom went in earlier under a different king. They were supposed to surrender to Nebuchadnezzar. In Isaiah 14, it's prophesying of a different Babylon, Babylon the Great, America. And to the king of this Babylon, say, how have the oppressors ceased, the golden city ceased? See? So this is talking about a different Babylon. This is talking about a different king of a different Babylon, which it's talking about America, and it's talking about Edom, the king of Babylon being Trump, right? How had this golden city ceased? It says, Yahweh had broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. The Lord is bringing you down, right? You think you're going to build a new world order and cause everyone to be chipped, but he's going to bring you down, and you're going to fall like lightning, nuclear destruction. Shalom to the elect, wa abba babal.